fall into the context.
Yeah, because we need to talking about especially for multicultural what's happening next year in the world,
Right.
not only in Europe, America, but also Japan. And I'm a question
Right.
for you. And how do you think about Japan is going on next year? So we discuss to try to get something from you.
Okay. Right.
And because world is drastically changing now, and how people thinking about how world is changing, okay? And
Right.
your aspect and Japanese aspect might be different. Japanese is very conservative. They think world will not change, but no. World is drastically changing. Okay, but you told America might be Trump will get impeachment. Might be, might not.
Right.
But we need to consider the kind of sort of things, what's kind of happening in the world. So not be so much too conservative. We try to your eyes open, watching happen. This is a liberal arts.
Right.
That I wanted to talk with you. So your view, your thinking approach is different from Japanese people. So that I made a question for you. A lot of sort of aspects. I'm very similar to your view. I'm not the same as ordinary Japanese, but ordinary Japanese is they believe world is not flat. World is not changing, stable like Japan, right?
Right.
No. This is different. You need to consider. So this is my American. I'm going to meet with Japanese customer this week beforehand, and I want to discuss this kind of what kind message I can deliver for that customer. Okay, why are they going to need us? Why are they going to ask us some training session? Because your view, your aspect at outside Japan is wrong. You need to change your mind, otherwise you cannot survive. This is my message. That's the reason I discussed with you last Saturday. Okay.
Right. So we have been talking about what will happen in the United States, whether or not Trump will be impeached, what will happen in Europe, developments in South America, and the conclusion was that there are a lot of changes that will happen that may not be expected by everyone, and there's a lot of things that are expected by many people that probably will not materialize. The way to think about, to view this, comes from my background. I think I'm heavily influenced by my background. The way that we have been taught in school is very much about asking yourself the why question always, and what is the bigger picture in which the events take place. So for people in Europe, it's kind of natural to take a few steps back and to look at, okay, why do certain events occur? What are the underlying forces that cause these events to happen or not to happen? And try to make sense of it all. That is actually an extra step when you read the newspapers, which is kind of like a given for people in Europe, and especially people who received a good education. So this is very likely going to be the mindset, the idea of people that you will encounter, not necessarily what you read in the newspapers, but kind of synthesis and of news events, historical awareness, social awareness, economical awareness. This mindset is part of your, probably will be part of your European counterpart. Not simply what you read in the newspapers, but something that is the part of the newspapers, but also part of the original thought of this person in particular. And everybody's looking for this kind of truth, and this is on people's mind. This is what they are thinking. This is actually for a lot of people kind of fun, and you cannot find that in a single newspaper in the Nikkei Shimbun toka. This is and this is what people love to talk about, because they want to see whether their worldview holds up against others. So this is the kind of catchball you can expect when you go out drinking after 9, playing catchball with your business counterpart. And this is if you can play catchball in this field, then you're likely to gain respect and trust. That doesn't mean that you necessarily have to agree with this person. Actually, it's more fun if you don't really agree, because then you have the opportunity to debate, to deepen your knowledge, to deepen your sense of how the world sticks together. So that's I think that's a very important skill to have if you want to build trust,
exactly.
And therefore if you want to do business overseas.
That's right. That's right. That's very
so afterwards we talked.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Kuno-san, I was interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So after that, we talk more in detail what we're going to offer. But I would like to continue where we left off. Basically, a gap analysis between Europe and Japan. We have been going into the depth of detail, but I believe that very simply put, basically there's a difference between the continent Europe and the island Japan. There's a difference between the Western philosophy, which is very much based on following the rules of logic, where in Japan we have, on the other hand, we have Confucianism, where Confucianism is more telling you what to do in order to become a great man, a gentleman. There is the focus on me, I as the center of the universe, versus the group that depends on the context, whether it's your family or the village you live in, or the company you work for. The group plays a central role, and this also is very important. It's also makes you realize that you can expect people with big egos from Europe, and this differs a little bit country by country, but I is always the center of attention for a European. A parallel between Confucianism and religion, I believe, is religion. Religion is just like Confucianism, is also pointing the way, how we should live, what we should do in order to get to God. Then we have the logics of Western philosophy, and what is also an important factor in Japan is holistic thinking. So without model thinking, less without models and more thinking in terms of the entire picture, of looking at things in reality, closer to reality. So less abstraction is the Japanese approach. So that means also that if you are trying to get on the same page, to understand that really the Western person probably has a very simple simple view of reality, whereas a Japanese person might be much more trying to capture everything. This trying to capture everything will be usually achieved by looking at the reality from many different angles, and maybe getting back from to a same point from a different angle, and see what the reality is from these different standpoints, looking at the same point, which might create very big feeling of uneasiness by the Western counterpart, because they could feel that we're not making any progress. If we have a simple two-dimensional model, basically what we would do is we go from left to right. That's what we do. We create an agenda and we go from left to right. And